Hello, my name is Bethany Cobb-Kung. I'm Associate Professor of Honors in Physics and President of the Alpha Chapter of Phi Beta Kappa at the George Washington University. Let me be the first to welcome you into Phi Beta Kappa. Unfortunately, it's not possible to have our traditional Phi Beta Kappa induction ceremony this year. Now, one of our favorite parts of that ceremony is after your name is called and your friends and family have clapped and you've shaken everyone's hand, you'd walk across the stage and you'd sign your name into our historical ledger. We're going to leave space for you in that ledger. If you're able to return for commencement next year, or if you ever find yourself in DC in the future for any reason, you have an open invitation to come and sign that ledger. Well, we can't be together right now. My Phi Beta Kappa colleagues and I wanted to tell you more about PBK and to send along our general congratulations. Our historian, Phil Troutman, will share with you a brief history of the Alpha chapter, including showing you our secret handshake. And this will be followed by messages of congratulation from the PBK officers as well as other PBK faculty members at GWU. We hope that you're sharing this video and really this moment with your family and your friends, be they near or far, because behind every PBK member, we know there's such a huge and important support system. You and they should be really so proud. Induction to Phi Beta Kappa is about more than simply a high GPA. Phi Beta Kappa membership implies a breadth of thought and challenge. Instead of focusing single-mindedly on just one subject, you took intellectual risks. You explored language and mathematics, history and philosophy, art, music, so much. You really made the most of your undergraduate experience. We hope that as a member of Phi Beta Kappa for life, you continue to embrace your love of learning and that you become an advocate for the liberal arts and sciences. On behalf of the George Washington University and the District of Columbia Alpha Chapter of the Phi Beta Kappa Society, let me be just the first of many congratulations.
Hello, I'm Philip Troutman. I am the historian for the GW chapter of Phi Beta Kappa, and I just want to welcome you to the chapter, give you a little bit of background on who we are, where we came from, and what Phi Beta Kappa is. We were famously founded in 1776 at the College of William and Mary by students who were interested in all the social aspects of a fraternity, but also the literary aspects of a debating society. They chose as their motto, I can't pronounce the Greek, but the initials were Phi, Beta, and Kappa, which were stood for love of learning is the guide of life. So they were interested in the idea of lifelong learning, and that's a value that Phi Beta Kappa still shares today. The next chapters that were founded were Harvard and Yale. There were a couple of other very elite institutions that joined in the first century or so, but really only about a half a dozen or so, or a dozen. Eventually, Phi Beta Kappa faded to some extent and saw this huge revival around the turn of the century, 1880s and 90s. Right about the time, coincidentally, that Columbia University in the District of Columbia decided to become a national level university. They changed their name to the George Washington University in 1904. We did. Moved to Foggy Bottom in 1912. Built buildings around what now is University Yard in the 1920s and started expanding from there. Students as early as 1919 petitioned or got up a committee to try to see if they could get a national chapter. It was very prestigious to have a chapter of Phi Beta Kappa, and they didn't get it. I don't yet know what happened or how far their petition went, but they were finally in 1937 in January. They were invited by the national organization to create a chapter. They succeeded at doing that, and on January 11th, 1938, GW created its charter for its Phi Beta Kappa chapter. We are called the Alpha Chapter of DC, meaning we are the first Phi Beta Kappa chapter created in the District of Columbia. The other schools are the Beta chapter, the Gamma chapter, etc. And so all the other DC schools followed us years later. There is a stone monument across from SEH, sort of by the Academic Center, commemorating the creation of the GWU chapter as the Alpha chapter DC. Beyond being the most prestigious honorary society in the United States, Phi Beta Kappa is an advocacy organization. This is something that not a lot of people really think a whole lot about or focus on in terms of thinking about what it means to be a member of Phi Beta Kappa. But there is a national program of promoting arts and sciences in public life and emphasizing the important role that arts and sciences play in our intellectual and cultural life today. And in the context of COVID-19, you can see how scientific discourse is important for people to understand in the broader public, and it's not just something that's walled up inside the academy. And I think that this is a principle that Phi Beta Kappa National stands for. They put their money behind, and they have programs of grants and fellowships and awards emphasizing the important work that arts and sciences scholars do throughout the country, participating in American public life. So think about that when you're a member. It's not just about honoring you for what you've achieved and what you've done, but you're a member of the society that has the explicit goal of promoting the ideas of arts and sciences throughout American life. One final thing I'll let you know from the history is that there is a secret handshake, and the one that got passed down into the 20th century and was published in the national in the National Key Reporter in 1936. They describe like this, and I'll show it to you. Each member grasps with the little and ring fingers and the thumb of the right hand. They grasp the first two fingers of the other member's right hand, like this. When the hands come together and the fingers spread by twos, thus enabling them to straddle each other before mutually closing on the first two fingers, they wrote in 1936, this hand clasp will be found an amazingly facile and fraternal way to shake a Phi Beta Kappa hand, although hands are now shaken officially only when members are initiated, and sometimes not even then, they admitted in 1936. Still, it's fun to know. It's a secret you can spring on fellow Phi Beta Kappa members. So congratulations on your honor. Thank you very much for supporting the society, and I hope you'll support the society over your lifetime. Check out the pbk.org website for information on local chapters where you live. Alumni are active in a lot of cities across the United States and in other parts of the world. So you can get together, go see lectures, go to other events, meet other people from across the country. Take care.
Hello, this is Stephen Trachtenberg, President Emeritus of George Washington University, to welcome you to Phi Beta Kappa. Congratulations on this great honor. I remember when I was elected to Phi Beta Kappa and how thrilled I was on that occasion, and I hope you share that excitement. It's really a remarkable moment, and one that I remember, and I hope you will remember for the rest of your careers. It'll be an introduction to some wonderful people, some great occasions, and it celebrates scholarship, which is, after all, what universities are all about. I wish you well with your careers and post-graduation, graduate school, work, life in general. And at this sad occasion, when we're all housebound as a result of the coronavirus, I pray that you'll stay safe and healthy. I look forward to meeting you all next year when we have an actual physical celebration for Phi Beta Kappa and celebrate George Washington University's 200th anniversary. God bless, take care, be well, people.
Hello, I'm Professor Jill Castle. I'm the secretary of the GWU chapter of Phi Beta Kappa. Congratulations on your induction to Phi Beta Kappa and welcome to the chapter.
Hi, I'm Lakeisha McClary in the Department of Chemistry here at the George Washington University. Congratulations on being inducted into Phi Beta Kappa. I was inducted 18 years ago at Howard University. It was one of the highlights of my commencement week, as I'm sure it is for you. I hope that you are proud because this is such an amazing accomplishment, one that so few people achieve. While we can't be together this year to celebrate, I hope that you are able to celebrate with your loved ones safely, perhaps enjoying some quarantine baking, and just know that we welcome you into Phi Beta Kappa. Congratulations again.
Hi, I'm Jeff Brand, former president of the Washington, D.C. Alpha chapter of the Phi Beta Kappa Society. I want to congratulate all of you on your induction to the Society this year. Well done.
Hi, I'm Mariah Frawley from the Department of English, and I just wanted to add my congratulations to the chorus of congratulations greeting our Phi Beta Kappa graduates this year. We're so proud of you. We wish you all the very best in your next endeavors. We wish we could have you for 4 more years, but we can't. And we know the world needs you more than we need you just right now. All the attributes that landed you in this place, your discipline and scholarly curiosity and commitment, will serve you and us well in the coming days and years ahead. So please keep in touch with us and know that our hearts are with you today and we're super proud of you. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, congratulations on Phi Beta Kappa. That's great.
Congratulations and welcome to Phi Beta Kappa.
Congratulations, class of 2020, and welcome to Phi Beta Kappa.
Dr. Ashish Patel writes, congratulations and welcome to Phi Beta Kappa.
Hello, this is Professor Joshua Schwartz with some words of greeting for the newly inducted members of Phi Beta Kappa, the George Washington University chapter, for May of 2020. I just wanted to stop by to congratulate all of you. The thing that I know, possibly I learned when I did the same thing myself, is that you're very gifted people, but you also worked incredibly hard. And not all the world understands that. Your gifts carry you many places, but they don't carry you everywhere. And yet you have all set a standard of consistent excellence that is really to be admired and amazed at. So congratulations to you, congratulations to your families and your friends and your loved one on the occasion of this recognition. It's too bad that we can't recognize you in person, but we didn't want to let the occasion go unremarked. Congratulations to all of you.
Hi, I'm Derek Malone France, and this is Cece, and we both say congratulations and welcome to Phi Beta Kappa.
Hello, Phi Beta Kappa initiates. Let me applaud you for having achieved something that very few students at GWU or any university with a Phi Beta Kappa chapter achieves. You are academically the best of the best, and we are so proud of you. Last year, as a Phi Beta Kappa member, I was part of the platform party up on the stage celebrating you and often your parents as well. It was very exciting, and it's an experience that I had when I was initiated, and each year I find it incredibly pleasant and incredibly joyous, really, to see all of you and to honor you for your academic achievements. I will tell you that when I was initiated, I did buy the Phi Beta Kappa key, and then I had it attached to a gold bracelet that only had that key on it. And I wear that bracelet still, right? And these many years later. And I wear it especially when I want to walk a little taller, when I'm confronted with a situation that's complicated and problematic, and I want to feel more self-confident. When I look at what I've achieved and say, oh, you know, as all of us do, I could have done more. Well, I look at that key on that bracelet that I then wear, and that reminds me that I've had signal achievements just as you have. So I encourage you to get your Phi Beta Kappa key and then to place it on some piece of jewelry, or perhaps in a place that you can see it, because every time you see that Phi Beta Kappa key, you know you are a part of an extraordinarily special society. Congratulations. I wish you all well.
Dr. David Bellia writes, Dear PBK inductees, congratulations on your new honor and being distinguished as a leader. Remember, serving is about leadership, and leadership is all about serving, something I learned from serving in the Army for 32 years. You now have been recognized as our future leaders, and thus I've attached an article that you may enjoy reading by Colonel Moshgat, USAF, retired. Lean forward, be safe, best regards. We extend special recognition to Nathaniel R. Morris, elected to alumni membership, and President Thomas J. LeBlanc, welcomed into Phi Beta Kappa's DC Alpha chapter.